The price of pride. First contact. The stars had always called to humanity. For thousands of years, humans looked up at the night sky and wondered if they were alone. They built telescopes. They sent radio signals into space. They dreamed of meeting other intelligent life. When humanity finally developed faster-than-light travel in 2247, they got their answer. They were not alone. The galaxy was full of life. The first species humans encountered was the feller. They were peaceful traders with 6 limbs and soft purple skin. They traveled in merchant ships between the stars, buying and selling goods. When a human exploration vessel called the Pioneer met a feller trading ship near the Kepler system, both sides were cautious but friendly. Captain Sarah Martinez of the Pioneer could barely contain her excitement. She stood on her ship's bridge, looking at the alien vessel through the viewscreen. It was beautiful in a strange way, all curves and flowing lines, nothing like the angular human ships. "Open a channel," she ordered. Her communications officer nodded and activated the translator device they had brought, hoping it would work. To everyone's amazement, it did work. The feller had sophisticated translation technology. Within hours, both sides were talking freely. The feller captain's name was Thelos. He had kind eyes and a gentle manner. He welcomed the humans and told them about the galaxy they had entered. What he said changed everything humanity thought they knew. "There are thousands of intelligent species," Thelos explained. "We are organized into what we call the Galactic Assembly. We trade. We share knowledge. We mostly live in peace." "Mostly?" Captain Martinez asked. Thelos hesitated. His translator conveyed his reluctance. "There are rules in the galaxy. There is an order. Some species are powerful. They make demands. Others are less powerful. They comply with those demands. This is how things work." "You mean some species rule over others?" "That is one way to say it. The powerful protect their territories. The weaker species pay tribute for that protection. It has been this way for millions of years." Captain Martinez felt something cold settle in her stomach. Humanity had spent centuries fighting against exactly this kind of system on Earth. They had overthrown kings and dictators. They had fought wars for freedom and equality. Now they were being told the entire galaxy worked on the principle they had rejected. "And the most powerful species?" she asked. Thelos looked uncomfortable. "The Korvax Dominion. They control a vast region of space. Their military is unmatched. Their leader, Overlord Zethus, has ruled for 400 years. When the Korvax want something, they take it. When someone defies them, they are destroyed. Has anyone ever defeated them? No. Never. Not in recorded history." Thelos leaned forward. "Captain Martinez, I tell you this as a friend. When you meet the Korvax, and you will meet them eventually, show respect. Pay whatever tribute they ask. Do not resist them. That is how species survive in this galaxy." Captain Martinez thanked him for the advice. But inside, she was already thinking about what humanity would really do when that meeting came. The human expansion. News of alien contact spread across Earth like wildfire. Within days, everyone knew. Humanity was not alone. The galaxy was full of life. But it was also full of danger. The United Earth Council met in Geneva. Representatives from every nation gathered to discuss what this meant for humanity's future. The debates were fierce. Some argued humanity should be cautious, should learn the rules and follow them. Others insisted humanity should expand rapidly, claim territory, build strength before encountering hostile species. Director James Chin of the Council spoke to the assembled representatives. He was a thin man with gray hair and sharp eyes. He had led Earth through the unification wars 20 years earlier. He knew how to make hard decisions. "We have a choice," he said. We can hide in our corner of space, hoping no one notices us. Or we can claim our place among the stars. I believe we must expand. We must build colonies. We must show the galaxy that humanity is strong. But the feller warned us, someone objected. They said the powerful species demand tribute. They said resistance means destruction. Chen's jaw tightened. Humanity does not pay tribute. We do not bow to tyrants. We tried that for thousands of years on Earth. It never worked. It never will work. The vote was close, but expansion won. Within months, colony ships were being built. Within a year, the first ships launched toward distant stars. Humanity spread quickly. They had advantages other species did not expect. Humans were adaptable. They could survive on many different types of worlds. They were innovative, taking alien technology and improving it rapidly. Most importantly, they were determined. When humans decided to do something, they did not give up easily. In 30 years, humans established 43 colonies. They built space stations and mining facilities. They traded with any species willing to trade. They learned new technologies and made them better. The human population in space grew to over 200 million people. Other species watched this expansion with mixed feelings. Some, like the feller, were impressed and became trading partners. Others were suspicious. A few were hostile. But most just waited to see what would happen when the Korvax finally noticed these aggressive newcomers. The Korvax Dominion. The Korvax were an ancient species. They had evolved on a heavy gravity world, which made them incredibly strong. An adult Korvax stood over 2.5 meters tall. Their bodies were covered in thick, armored plates that looked like dark metal. They had 4 arms, each incredibly powerful. Their eyes glowed with a dim red light. The Korvax had been spacefaring for over 30,000 years. They had built an empire that spanned hundreds of star systems. Their technology was advanced beyond what most species could imagine. Their military had never lost a major conflict. Their culture valued strength above everything else. To the Korvax, the strong deserved to rule. The weak deserved to serve. Overlord Zethus ruled the Korvax dominion from the throne world of Corvin Prime. He was old, even by Korvax standards. He had lived for 4 centuries. He had seen countless species rise and fall. He had crushed rebellions, destroyed enemies, and maintained order through pure military might. When reports of human expansion reached him, he paid little attention at first. New species appeared occasionally. They either learned their place or were taught their place. It was always the same. But his military commander, war leader Drexen, was concerned. Drexen was young for his position, only 80 years old. He had risen through the ranks quickly by being more aggressive than his peers. He studied the reports about humans carefully. They expand too quickly, Drexen reported to the Overlord. They do not ask permission. They do not seek protection from established powers. They act as if they have a right to claim territory. Zethus barely looked up from the holographic display he was studying. All young species are arrogant at first. They learn. These humans refused to pay tribute when our survey ships entered their territory. They sent warnings to our vessels. They told us to leave. Now Zethus looked up. His red eyes focused on Drexen. They warned us. Our ships. Yes, Overlord. Multiple times. They claim the systems they occupy belong to them. They do not recognize our authority. Silence filled the throne room. Zethus considered this information. In his 400 years of rule, no species had ever warned Korvax ships to leave anywhere. The audacity was almost impressive. Almost. What do we know of their military capability? Zethus asked. Minimal. Their ships are small and slow by our standards. Their weapons are primitive. Their largest warship would be destroyed by one of our scouts in seconds. Physically, they are weak creatures. Soft bodies, short lifespans, vulnerable to environmental extremes. By every measure, they are inferior. Then why do they behave as if they are strong? Drexen had no answer for that. It made no sense. Weak species did not challenge the Korvax. They submitted, paid tribute, and hoped to be left alone. That was the natural order. Perhaps they are simply ignorant, another council member suggested. They are new to the galaxy. They do not understand how things work. Zethus stood from his throne. When he stood, everyone else in the room stepped back instinctively. The Overlord was massive even by Korvax standards, nearly 3 meters tall, with scars from 100 battles covering his armor plating. Then we will educate them, Zethus declared. Drexen, take a strike force. Destroy one of their colonies. Kill enough of them to make the lesson clear. When they beg for mercy, we will give them terms. They will pay tribute. They will submit. They will learn their place in this galaxy. Drexen bowed deeply. This was the kind of order he enjoyed receiving. It will be my honor, Overlord. Which colony should I target? Choose one of their larger settlements. The more populated, the better. We want the lesson to be memorable. The attack on New Terra. New Terra was humanity's pride. It was the 5th colony established, but it had grown to become the largest outside the Sol system. The planet itself was remarkable, almost identical to Earth. Blue oceans, green continents, breathable atmosphere. 3.5 million humans called it home. The colony had cities, farms, factories, and schools. Children were being born there who had never seen Earth. It was becoming its own world, with its own culture and dreams. The people of New Terra believed they were building something important, a new beginning for humanity among the stars. Governor Lisa Okonkwo ran the colony with efficiency and care. She had been a city planner on Earth before volunteering to lead this new world. She loved her job. Every morning, she would look out her office window at the growing city below and feel pride in what they had accomplished. On the morning of March 15, 2284, she was reviewing construction proposals for a new hospital when her assistant rushed into her office. Governor, we have a problem. Multiple unknown ships just appeared in orbit. Big ones. They're not answering our hails. Lisa's heart jumped. They had defense satellites and a small patrol fleet, but nothing that could handle a serious military threat. How many ships? 57 so far. More appearing every few seconds. Governor, they're massive. Each one is larger than our biggest space station. Lisa activated the emergency protocols. Alarms sounded across the colony. Defense forces scrambled to their posts. Civilian shelters opened. But everyone knew these were inadequate measures. They had never expected a military attack of this scale. She opened a communication channel to the unknown fleet. Attention unknown vessels. This is Governor Okonkwo of New Terra Colony. You are in human territory. Please identify yourselves and state your intentions. The response came in a voice that sounded like grinding metal. The translator struggled with it, but the meaning was clear enough. I am War Leader Drexen of the Korvax Dominion. Your territory is a fiction. This space belongs to the Korvax. You will surrender immediately and prepare to receive our occupation forces. Resistance will result in total destruction. Lisa felt cold fear wash over her, but she kept her voice steady. We are a peaceful colony. We have done nothing to threaten you. Please, can we negotiate? There is nothing to negotiate. You have 1 hour to surrender. After that, we begin bombardment. The channel closed. Lisa stood frozen for a moment, her mind racing. Then she activated the colony-wide emergency system. This is Governor Okonkwo. I need everyone to listen carefully. We are under attack by an alien military force. They have given us 1 hour. I am ordering immediate evacuation. All civilian ships are to launch and jump to the rally point at Kepler 442. Military personnel, buy them as much time as you can. I am requesting emergency assistance from Earth and all nearby colonies. May God help us all. The next hour was chaos. Civilian ships launched from every spaceport. Families rushed to get aboard. Some made it. Many did not. The planet's small defense fleet moved to intercept the Korvax ships, but they were hopelessly outmatched. When the hour ended, Drexen did not hesitate. His ships opened fire. The bombardment was methodical and brutal. Korvax weapons struck the orbital stations first. They exploded in brilliant flashes. Then the weapons targeted the spaceports. Civilian ships trying to launch were destroyed in their cradles. The defense fleet was annihilated in the first 10 minutes. Then the Korvax turned their weapons on the cities below. Governor Okonkwo was in her office when the first strike hit the capital. She had refused to evacuate, choosing to coordinate rescue efforts until the last possible moment. She saw the flash through her window. The building shook. Then the shock wave hit, and everything went white. The bombardment continued for 6 hours. When it finally stopped, New Terra was burning. Of the 3.5 million people who had called it home, less than 400,000 escaped. The rest were dead or dying in the ruins. Drexen recorded everything. He created a message showing the destruction, the burning cities, the dead. He sent it to every species in the galaxy. This is the price of defying the Korvax dominion. Let all species learn from humanity's mistake. Submit to the strong, or share their fate. The galaxy watched the message in silence. This was not unusual. The Korvax had done this before to other species. It was terrible, but it was expected. The strong punished the weak. That was how things worked. But something was different this time. The humans did not surrender after their colony burned. Instead, they sent every available warship to defend their remaining territories. Drexen expected this. Weak species always mounted a desperate defense after the first blow. It never worked. He moved his fleet to the next human colony and destroyed it just as easily. Then another, and another. For 8 months, the campaign continued. The Korvax methodically destroyed human colonies one by one. The humans fought every battle. They lost every battle. Millions died. Dozens of colonies were reduced to ash. The galaxy watched and waited for the inevitable surrender. It always came eventually. No species could sustain such losses indefinitely. Soon the humans would break. Soon they would beg for mercy. But the humans did not break. They did not beg. They kept fighting, kept dying, kept refusing to surrender. And somewhere deep in the Sol system, hidden beneath Earth's surface and inside hollow asteroids, humanity was preparing something the Korvax could not imagine. The galaxy did not know it yet, but everything was about to change. Earth's silence. The siege begins. By the end of 2284, humanity had lost 19 colonies. Over 12 million people were dead. The human fleet was down to less than 40 warships, and most of those were damaged. The Korvax had lost only 3 ships, all to successful suicide attacks by desperate human pilots. On Earth, the United Earth Council met in their deep bunker beneath Geneva. The mood was grim. Director Chen looked older than his 68 years. The stress of watching millions die had taken its toll. "We cannot win this way," Admiral Patricia Reeves stated bluntly. She commanded what was left of Earth's military. She was a career officer, tough and experienced, but even she could see the mathematics of their situation. Every engagement ends the same way. We fight. We die. They barely notice. If we continue like this, humanity will be extinct in a year. You suggest surrender, someone asked. I suggest reality. The Korvax are too strong. Their technology is too advanced. We cannot beat them in conventional warfare. Then we beat them unconventionally, said Dr. Robert Kenji. He was Earth's chief scientist, responsible for developing new technologies from alien designs they had acquired through trade. He was young for his position, only 42, but brilliant. We have been studying Korvax weapons from the wreckage of our ships. We have analyzed their shields, their drives, their power systems. I believe we can match their technology. Maybe exceed it. How long would that take? Chen asked. To design, test, and build enough ships to make a difference. 2 years. Maybe 3. We do not have 2 years, Admiral Reeves objected. The Korvax will be at Earth's doorstep in months. Then we make them wait, Chen said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. We make them believe they have won. We hide. We prepare. We let them think we are broken while we build the means to strike back. That would mean abandoning our remaining colonies, someone protested. Millions of people. We would be leaving them to die. Chen's face was like stone. Those people are already dead. The Korvax will kill them whether we defend them or not. The only question is whether their deaths buy us anything. If we waste our remaining ships in pointless battles, their deaths mean nothing. But if we use the time their sacrifice gives us to prepare a real defense, then maybe their deaths save humanity. The room was silent. No one wanted to say it, but everyone knew Chen was right. Humanity's only hope was to disappear, to make the Korvax think they had won, while secretly building the strength to strike back. The vote was unanimous. Operation Phoenix was approved. The Great Deception. Implementing Operation Phoenix required humanity to do something that went against every instinct. They had to stop fighting. They had to watch their colonies burn without defending them. They had to appear defeated while secretly preparing for war. First, they evacuated as many people as they could from the remaining colonies. Civilian ships made desperate runs under cover of debris fields and sensor jamming. Most people could not be saved, but millions were brought back to the Sol system. Then they recalled every military ship. The Korvax, expecting final desperate battles, found their targets simply abandoned. Empty colonies were easy to destroy, but it felt wrong somehow. War leader Drexen expected the humans to fight for every centimeter. Instead, they vanished. Where did they go? Drexen demanded of his intelligence officers. Billions of humans do not simply disappear. Our scouts report massive traffic toward the Sol system. They are retreating to their homeworld, clustering their entire population there. Then we will end this where it began. Set course for Earth. The Korvax fleet, now numbering over 100 warships after reinforcements arrived, began the journey to Earth. It would take several weeks at their standard travel speed. They were in no hurry. The humans were trapped now. There was nowhere left to run. Meanwhile, on Earth, the greatest construction project in human history was underway. Every factory was converted to military production. Every shipyard was building warships. Every laboratory was working on new weapons. And most importantly, all of this was happening underground or inside hollowed-out asteroids where Korvax sensors could not detect it. Dr. Kenji's team worked 20-hour days. They had breakthrough after breakthrough. Human ingenuity combined with stolen alien technology produced remarkable results. We cracked their shield technology, Dr. Kenji reported at one meeting. But we did not just copy it. We improved it. Our shields will be twice as effective as theirs. What about weapons? Admiral Reeves asked. That is where it gets interesting. The Korvax use plasma-based weapons. Powerful, but we have developed something different. We call it a coherent particle beam. It cuts through their shields like they are not there. How is that possible? Their shields are designed to deflect energy weapons and absorb kinetic impacts. Our beam is neither. It is a stream of particles accelerated to near light speed, held together by magnetic fields. It passes through energy shields without triggering them, then delivers all its energy into the hull. The effect is devastating. Admiral Reeves smiled for the first time in months. How long until we can produce these weapons in quantity? 4 months. Maybe less. The construction continued in secret. Humans worked with desperate intensity. They knew this was their only chance. If the Korvax discovered what they were doing, it would all be over. 3 months later, the Korvax fleet arrived at Earth. Overlord Zethus's ultimatum. Zethus himself came to witness humanity's final defeat. He stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, looking at the blue planet below. It reminded him of other worlds he had conquered over the centuries. They all looked peaceful from space. They all burned the same when you applied enough firepower. Scan the planet, he ordered. I want to know their military strength. The sensor officer worked for several minutes, then reported with confusion. Overlord, we detect minimal military activity. A few defense satellites. Some patrol ships in orbit. Nothing that could threaten us. Where are their warships? They had dozens. Unknown. We detect no major military vessels in the system. Zethus frowned. This was unusual. Most species gathered every ship they had for the final defense of their homeworld. These humans were either very stupid or very clever. He decided to test which. Send the ultimatum. Standard terms. The message went to Earth. Humanity was ordered to surrender unconditionally. All military forces would be disbanded. All weapons would be destroyed. Earth's leaders would be taken to Corvan Prime in chains. The human species would serve the Korvax dominion for the next 1,000 years. In exchange, they would be allowed to live. Earth's government requested 1 hour to discuss the terms. Zethus granted it. He expected surrender within minutes after that hour expired. But 1 hour passed. Then 2. Then 3. No response came from Earth. What is happening? Zethus demanded. Why have they not responded? Overlord, all communications from the planet have ceased. All broadcasts have stopped. All signals have ended. It is as if they shut down their entire civilization. Zethus felt something he had not felt in many years. Uncertainty. This made no sense. Species about to be destroyed did not go silent. They begged. They pleaded. They offered desperate bargains. They did not just shut down and wait. Perhaps it is a technical failure, war leader Drexen suggested. An entire planet's communications failing at once? No. They are doing something. But what? Days passed. Earth remained silent. Zethus's uneasiness grew. He consulted with his advisors, his war council, his scientists. No one had a good explanation. After 2 weeks, his patience expired. Begin the bombardment. Target their major cities. Make them understand there is no escape. The Korvax fleet opened fire. Their weapons struck Earth with terrible force. Cities exploded. Forests burned. Oceans boiled where the most powerful weapons hit. The bombardment continued for 72 hours. When it finally stopped, vast areas of Earth's surface were devastated. The death toll was impossible to calculate, but certainly in the hundreds of millions. It is done, Drexen reported. Their civilization is destroyed. Any survivors will be scattered and powerless. Zethus looked at the wounded world below. He should have felt satisfied. Another species had been taught their place. Another example had been made for the galaxy. But something still bothered him. Send the message to the Galactic Assembly, he ordered. The human problem is solved. Let all species know what happens to those who defy the Korvax. The message went out across the galaxy. Species received it with resignation. Another young civilization had been crushed. Sad, but expected. The strong ruled. The weak died. This was the eternal pattern. But 3 days after the bombardment ended, something happened that would change everything. Ships began rising from Earth. Thousands of them. They emerged from underground facilities, from beneath oceans, from inside hollow mountains. They rose from the wounded planet like a swarm of dark insects, gathering in orbit, forming into battle formations. A fellow merchant ship passing through the outer system detected them and sent an alert. Warning to all vessels. Unknown activity at Earth. Massive fleet emerging. Configuration unknown. Technology unknown. This is not anything we have seen before. The message spread across the galaxy at the speed of light. On the Eternal Dominion, Zethus received the report with disbelief. Impossible. We destroyed them. We burned their world. The ships are not coming from the surface, his sensor officer reported. They are coming from underground. From facilities we did not detect. Overlord, there are thousands of them. More appearing every minute. What kind of ships? Unknown design. Dark hulls. Heavy armor. Energy signatures we do not recognize. They are unlike anything in our database. Zethus stood frozen. In 400 years of rule, in countless battles and conquests, he had never encountered anything like this. How had they hidden such a massive fleet? How had his sensors missed it? How many ships, he demanded. The sensor officer's voice was shaking. Over 3,000 so far. And they are still coming. War leader Drexen stepped forward. Overlord, we should attack now. Before they finish assembling. No. Zethus was thinking quickly. We do not know what we are facing. I want full scans. I want to know their capabilities before we engage. The scans were conducted. The results made no sense. The human ships showed energy levels far beyond what they should be capable of. Their shields were reading at strength comparable to Korvax's capital ships. Their weapon systems were completely unknown. This is impossible, Zethus repeated. They did not have this technology before. Where did it come from? No one had an answer. On Earth, in a command center deep beneath what used to be North America, Admiral Patricia Reeves watched the tactical displays. Her command center had survived the bombardment because it was 3 kilometers underground, protected by layers of rock and advanced shielding. She looked at the displays showing the Korvax fleet and the assembled human ships. 2 years of preparation. 2 years of building and testing in secret. 2 years of hiding while millions died. Now finally, the time had come. She opened a communication channel to all human ships. Attention all vessels. This is Admiral Reeves. For 2 years we have suffered. We have hidden. We have endured bombardment and death while we prepared. The Korvax thought they had broken us. They thought we would surrender or die quietly. She paused, her voice becoming harder. They were wrong. Today we stop hiding. Today we stop running. Today we show the Korvax and the entire galaxy what humanity truly is. Today we show them the price of attacking Earth. She gave the command that would echo across the galaxy. All ships. Attack. 3,000 human warships surged forward toward the Korvax fleet. They accelerated with impossible speed, moving far faster than ships their size should be able to move. They did not slow as they approached the enemy. They did not hesitate. The Korvax opened fire. Their weapons were the most powerful in the galaxy. They had destroyed countless enemies with these weapons. Surely these unknown human ships would fall just as easily. But the human ships did not fall. Their shields absorbed the Korvax weapons with barely a flicker. Their armor deflected blasts that should have torn through steel like paper. They kept coming, faster and closer. Then the human ships fired back. Beams of white light, the coherent particle beams Dr. Kenji had developed, lanced across space. They struck Korvac's shields and passed straight through them. They struck Korvac's hulls and burned through the supposedly impenetrable armor. The first Korvax ship to die was called the Crushing Victory. It had fought for 2 centuries. It had won 43 battles. It had never taken serious damage. A single human destroyer, less than half its size, fired one beam. The beam entered the Crushing Victory through its bow and exited through its stern. The great ship broke apart. 3,000 Korvax warriors died in seconds. Across the battlefield, the scene repeated. Human weapons were cutting through Korvax ships like they were made of paper. Korvax weapons were barely scratching human shields. The impossible was happening. On the Eternal Dominion, Zethus watched in horror as his fleet began to die. In the first 30 minutes, they lost 17 ships. They had destroyed only 2 human vessels. "This cannot be happening," he whispered. "This is not possible." But it was happening. The humans were not just fighting back. They were winning.